In the meantime, we have a racial heads up. All right, well, I called this one. Actually, it was sort of tongue-in-cheek when I called it, although in the back of my head I'm thinking, you know what, somebody's going to do this. You watch. Well, they did. Tennessee theater cancels Gone with the Wind after 34 years over racist content complaints. The Orpheum Theater in Memphis, Tennessee has caved, probably to a handful of people or maybe a bunch of Twitter bots, but who knows. They will no longer screen Gone with the Wind after the theater's board said that it had received, quote-unquote, numerous comments, whatever that means, from viewers who called the 1939 film insensitive and racist. How many of these people do you think have actually seen this movie? While the title selections for the series are typically made in the spring of each year, the Orpheum has made this determination early in response to specific inquiries from patrons. The Orpheum appreciates feedback on its programming from all members of the Mid-South community. You know what I would have said? I would have said this movie represents the state-of-the-art of movies in 1939, and because it's art, we are going to maintain it. Here's what I want to know. How many of these people complaining think that it's art to put a crucifix in urine? I'll bet they think that's okay, though. The recent screening of Gone with the Wind at the Orpheum on Friday, August 11, 2017, generated numerous comments. The Orpheum carefully reviewed each one. The group said the film was ultimately pulled because it was insensitive to local patrons. Well, is somebody holding a gun to the local patrons and forcing them to go see it? You know, they could, stay home. You know, that's the thing about liberals and conservatives. See, if a conservative doesn't like Gone with the Wind, they don't go to it. If a liberal doesn't like Gone with the Wind, then nobody can see it. It's got to be banned. If a conservative doesn't want to buy a gun, they don't buy a gun. If liberals don't like guns and they want nobody to be able to buy a gun. That's totalitarianism, and it resides on the left. Quote, as an organization whose stated mission is to entertain, educate, and enlighten the community it serves, the Orpheum cannot show a film that is insensitive to a large segment of its local population, said the group. The theater's decision to pull this after 34 years at the Orpheum. The removal apparently stemmed from a post on the Orpheum's Facebook page from an early August screening in which someone, are we talking about rule by one person here? Someone deemed the 8-time Academy Award-winning film to be racist. Another Memphis resident said of the news that slowly but surely we will rid this community of all tributes to white supremacy. Well, under the current definition of white supremacy, ridding the community of all aspects of white supremacy means murdering every white person. Trust me, that's what it means under the current definition. Now, the iconic film, which was set around a southern plantation during the Civil War and Reconstruction periods, follows the lives of several black and white characters of the historic era. Actress Hattie McDaniel, who played a house servant named Mammy, became the first African-American to win an Academy Award for her role in the film. What's more, now here we get to the part that the complainers, because they're stupid and uneducated, have no idea about. The film's producer, David O. Selznick, went out of his way to avoid offending black audiences and consulted with numerous black leaders at the time to ensure that the film would not be insensitive to blacks in the way that, say, Birth of a Nation was. You know, the one that was shown in the White House under a Democrat progressive president. Selznick had refused to allow the N-word in the film. He wrote a letter to the NAACP president explaining that as a Jew, he was painfully aware of what was happening in Europe at that time in the 1930s to Jews and would not do anything to increase racial tensions in America. The NAACP wrote a corresponding letter to Selznick, thanking him for taking care not to include objectively insensitive material in the film, but all of that falls on deaf ears, or actually, stupid ears. So, yes, so what we have here is rule by the Afro snowflakes, who don't know, by the way, any of this history. See, they're just like the baby, the little baby that's happy to squish around in the warm poop-filled diaper. Yeah, just like that baby is happy in its poop, these people are happy in their ignorance. What a shame. We are in the throes of self-destruction.